I'm just letting everybody know we're on the doorstep of destiny. Oh, it's the team of the 21st century is who it is. Twice we're back through the doorstep of destiny. We're back, everybody. 6 in a row, I told you guys. We're back. You were saying something about best team in the NFL? Hats and t-shirt game for every, oh shoot! That's all right. Sorry, Greg, you have always supported Drake May, so I appreciate it. I implore you to put on the sunglasses, just like I am beloved in Kansas City, and join me in walking through the door of destiny. Welcome. Welcome to just a wonderful show. And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate the lack of support that you provided me for months, really. Including and up to picking Jarrett Stidham to beat.
Nick.
No, you actually have come through recently, so I really appreciate that. It's going to be a great show. It's just going to be a wonderful 2 weeks. Or a few years, to be honest with you.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I have some vacation time built up.
Oh.
that I might just have to burn between now and the Super Bowl.
You know who's beloved in Kansas City? This guy.
Mm-hmm.
You could do the same thing for all of New England, from the shore of Connecticut to the tip-top of Maine.
Not interested.
We are starting with the 12th Super Bowl appearance for the team of the century.
12.
This after back-to-back 4-win seasons, the Patriots win game number 17 this year in a game where only 17 points were scored. No curfew in Denver, but everybody had to be on the bus by 8.
Yeah.
No curfew for old KW either. I was out late. I was out late feeling, hit the dance floor a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, just a little bit. A little bit.
Oh my.
Usually I interrupt you guys, ask some silly question, then I hit the trumpet, but you know what time it is. Yeah. Let's just go. Let's just do it.
You are gonna
Let's just go. People are here to see the door.
Yeah.
People want to see the door of destiny.
Oh, God.
I feel good. You know what time it is, bro. Door of destiny. I told you I felt like dancing, bro. Wow. I've been feeling good.
I'm just gonna dance.
I told you I've been feeling alive.
Wait, what?
I've been feeling great.
That's wild.
That
wild got skills.
I've been working on this since we beat the Bills.
What the?
Since we beat the Bills, I've been.
Where'd this come from?
It's been
Look at
happening.
Wilds.
It's been happening, bro.
Man.
I've been practicing. My. This one, watch this, bro.
I'm speechless. Oh my gosh.
You see me, bro.
What the?
Oh, you got it. Oh, get it. Okay. Get that right now. Get that. You see that? You see me? I'm out here.
Wow.
Wild.
Thank
My
you.
man, I didn't know you had it in you.
I've been moving. I've been practicing since the Bills game.
Wow. That was impressive.
Thank you.
Fantastic, KW.
Thank you, guys.
I didn't know you had it in you.
Well, people didn't believe in the Patriots either, but here we are.
It's true.
What did you make of the Patriots' run to the doorstep of destiny?
It's hard to be serious after that impressive display, but I will be all the same. It's an all-time turnaround. The discussion this offseason was whether or not they would make the playoffs. And they were a coin flip to make the playoffs.
It was like gutsy. You picked them.
No, I picked them, and it was, and that wasn't.
That was a gutsy
It wasn't like picking the Raiders to make the playoffs. No. It was a team that was Vegas odds were 50-50, yes or no to make the playoffs. They were a significant underdog to win their division, and they were 60-1 to win the conference. 60-1, and in this postseason, they have been favored but doubted in every playoff game. You know, and so not favored, so the majority of people seem to think they would win each game, but real reason to believe they might lose any one of them. And here's what I will say as a testament to what the 2025 New England Patriots are. They are a combination of every important component that any championship team typically needs to have. They have exquisite coaching. They have had, throughout the bulk of the season, even if not in the playoffs, high-level quarterback play.
Yes.
A legit defense.
Excellent.
And a little helping of schedule luck or luck along the way.
Lady luck.
Which, again, but that's a
You
part
need
of
that.
that's
You
a
need
part
that.
of everybody's
100%.
story. Like that that is a part. That's not always a part of the story to a path to a championship, but very often there is a tuck rule or in the Seahawks case, a muffed punt by somebody else. There's some element of luck. And here is what I will say. We looked at the last, 4 months moving forward. Those first three, Brew, excellent coaching, high-level quarterback play, and a legitimate defense should be in New England as long as Vrabel and Drake May are there. Yeah. So this is a team to be reckoned with over the next half decade or so.
Oh, you were right there.
No,
right.
Your dynasty stuff was
Well,
ridiculous, and it
your
still
words,
is.
not mine.
But they are now, Brew, and I think you'll agree, moving forward, an A-list AFC team. When we talk about the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills, you cannot talk about those teams and not include the Patriots in that group. You can't.
No question. And I want to give props to the Patriots, particularly these three groups. I'm piggybacking off you, Nick. The defense.
Unbelievable.
Right? The defense, I get it. You want to say they faced a backup quarterback yesterday. Okay. But Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, who rookie year was a very good quarterback, and still, we think he has potential. They have allowed, they're number one in points allowed, 8.7 per game in the playoffs. Number one in rush yards allowed, 71 yards per game. Number three in total yards allowed, 210. So the defense has been incredible, okay? Secondly, Mike Vrabel. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better coaching job. They're the first team ever to go 9-0 on the road in NFL history. In NFL history.
It's amazing.
So that is incredibly impressive.
And they got into it, too. They call themselves the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
And then Matt Collins did the bottles thing.
And that's somewhat of a credit to him because of just creating that, us against the world mentality and all that stuff. And no matter who you add in the offseason, Nick, which they added some good players, still, to take a team from 4 wins to the Super Bowl is incredible. You have no superstar receivers, no superstar running back. You had 2 Pro Bowlers, and you're in the Super Bowl. And then Drake May. Like, Nick, the Chargers, the 9th-ranked defense in the league. The Texans, the 2nd-ranked defense in the league. Denver, 3rd-ranked defense in the league in terms of points allowed. And he goes through them. I get it. His stats aren't pretty, and he hasn't lit everything on fire, but he has done what – it's about winning in the postseason. Nobody really cares about what your stats are as a quarterback.
I was nervous that you're going to be on the other side of that, Bruce. So
No. I mean, it's about winning, and he's made the winning plays. I'll get into that a little later. But those 3 groups in all the Patriots, but those 3 groups in particular, hats off.
It's been a great playoff run for me. 3 wins. Door Destiny counts as win number 4. I did, however, take a loss. And it's a loss that we've seen before. Iron sharpens iron. I might have to abandon iron sharpens iron as my trademark. And we showed this graphic, I think, maybe a month ago. Easiest schedule, 13-win teams since the merger. The 99 Rams, easy schedule. They won the Super Bowl. The 72 Dolphins, easy schedule, won the Super Bowl. And we used to have question marks there. But now the 25 Patriots, easy schedule, in the Super Bowl. And we kick this around a lot, and it's not necessarily the most concrete analysis. At the same time, I think we all agree that it's true, because we used to talk about the Chiefs like this. Winning is a skill, and learning to win is a skill. And being ahead and be like, all right, now we have to salt away this win just around the margins. And there was a play, I didn't pull it up, Nick, but I'm sure Nick is going to love this play. So I'm going out on a limb, so I hope you love it. Right before the Christian Gonzalez interception, when Sean Peyton makes a substitution. And then Mike Vrabel takes his jolly old time getting our guys on, and the play clock's down to like 2 seconds. All of a sudden, things are hurried up. Stidham throws the interception. That's the game over. Now, looking at it through one lens is, backup quarterback. He wanted to take a shot. Things were getting desperate. Another way to look at it is, we have been doing that. You made a mistake. We saw the margin. Now you're hurried up, and it's something that we learned through winning.
I've been in nerd coaching love with Mike Vrabel ever since he did the silly delay of game thing when he was the Titans coach against the Patriots in the 2019 playoffs. Because there used to be a loophole in the rule book. If there were more than 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and the clock was running and you committed a penalty, the clock kept running when they redid the down. And so he, in that playoff game, burnt 90 seconds by continually taking delay of games. Right. And then the NFL had to change the rules. And those little small angles, margins, he has been so good at, and figuring out, they've tweaked about when you sub, we get to sub. How can we exploit that as far as possible? Those things matter. I also want to say one other thing to you, KW, because, and I should have had Hubs pull this tweet, and I didn't. My apologies. But 3 years ago, when I got the Never a Doubt tattoo, about 30 minutes after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, who never tweets, tweeted out a picture of himself holding both trophies and just captioned it, Never a Doubt. Yeah, that was sick. And you wrote, man, and Mac Jones never followed me back on Twitter or something. Like,
does follow me now, so thank you.
But it was a nice homage from my friend Patrick. The league, about 30 minutes after the Patriots made the Super Bowl brew, the NFL tweeted out this, which can only be read as an homage to our guy KW.
Now it's a mirror, not a door.
Of a new dynasty. I don't know, but I know that is from the NFL's Twitter account. It's a door, but with a mirror. It's Brady. It's Drake May. Whatever it is, that's your IP. Wow. Now the NFL's partner, so I assume you're going to let them, fair use it. Of course. Not going to file a lawsuit, but that's pretty sick,
Quick
KW.
Cease and desist,
so I'm happy for you.
From my breakdance and my hairs.
And this 3:15 Monday is probably where my happiness for you ends, but I want you to know it exists.
Why don't we just make it through the whole A block?
We'll see.
Gentlemen, can you play us off? Sorry, I feel this is just...
You gonna dance? Or?
Hurt my back a little bit. Vertebrae. Let's dig in on the game a little bit. It wasn't the prettiest in the world. Drake threw the ball for only 86 yards. Stidham threw a backwards pass. There were 3 missed field goals, and by the end of the game, it was just like a slip and slide out there. Brew, what do you think the key to the Patriots win was?
I got 3 keys. First is Drake May.
Great.
Nick, he corrected the problems that he was having in the first 2 playoff games, which was turnovers. In the snow and under the duress of playing the best pass rush in the league. He got sacked 5 times, didn't fumble. We saw a lot of his fumbles were sacked. Getting hit by the defenders. And so I thought that was impressive. He obviously didn't throw the ball very well, but he used his legs. His legs were critical. First, the touchdown run. I think we have, obviously we all said that. He just runs in for the touchdown. Then he seals the game with this is when he called his own.
No, this is.
This is okay. This is the second. This is the 28-yard run, right? 28-yard run, longest run of the day by far of any rusher, and that set him up for the game-winning field goal. And then, of course, he calls his own shot here, and tells nobody he's going to roll out bootleg, and gets the first down that ends the game. So he did it with his legs. He needed to not make mistakes, which he didn't do. And in that weather and against that defense, that's tough to do. And we saw what turned the game. The second thing was a mistake by Jarrett Stidham. And so Jarrett Stidham, has the fumble. That sets you guys up at the 12-yard line. You push it in. And then the third thing, Nick, look, I think Sean Peyton made a mistake. I know people will say, well, it's in hindsight, but I'm thinking at that point, second quarter, you're up 7-0. You already saw, man, New England's not moving the ball against us. I think you had 2 first downs at that point.
1 first down.
1 first down at that point. You knew it. You should have known this is going to be a low-scoring game. I don't have my starting quarterback. And to that point, Stidham had looked pretty good, but still, it's not my starting quarterback. Yep. Points should be at a premium. He should have taken that field goal.
It's going to start snowing.
Well, yeah, and he didn't know how much, but still, you knew it was going to start. And, I mean, I don't think he could have – I don't know if anybody could have predicted that type of weather. You knew it was going to get worse. We knew that. But I don't know if he thought it was going to get that bad. But anyway, he should have kicked the field goal. It would have been 10-0. And you couldn't score after the snow started coming. Neither team could do anything offensively. So good chance it would have been 10-10 instead of, being down.
So we're gonna do more on the 4th down decision later. I do just a little, preview of that conversation. It's Sean Payton's job to know more about the weather than it is you or me. And he has access to all the possible information. And so I agree. I think that was a mistake. We are going to I obviously am not going to kill Drake May for his performance, but it is performances like this when you always throw at me. You're not a quarterback wins guy. It's these types of wins that make it tough, like where I'm not a binary quarterback wins guy, because I think Drake May ran the ball well. I think his throwing was a big problem for them, and that was well before the weather got bad. It was perfect conditions. His first pass of the game, Hufanga got 2 hands on it. So I thought Drake May avoided egregious mistake, but I don't think for me, he would not have been one of the 3 or 4 primary reasons they won that game. But the key to the Patriots win was what Mike Vrabel said, and I think you'll like this, KW, was goal number 1 of the Patriots once he got there. Avoid bad football.
Yeah.
That he talked about, it's an old cliche, but more teams lose games than teams win them. That what we need to do is remove the bad football and let the other team beat themselves. And that's what Denver did. It was the head coach, I think, outsmarted himself on the 4th down. They had, after blowing that 4th down, they still are up 7-0. The Patriots are still not moving the ball, and Stidham tries to do too much. Just go down, bro. Like, you don't, at any point you can go down. And that's extra egregious, and I'm not trying to kill Stidham, but all week we heard about how Stiddy is a Pro Bowler. That it's extra egregious because there is not a huge difference on 3rd and 4 from your own 20 on taking a sack and throwing it away. You're punting anyway. Like, that's the type of play sometimes you make if the sack's going to take you out of field goal range. And you're like, oh man, I can't lose yards, and then it turns into a disaster. There's no difference between him taking a sack and throwing an incompletion. I mean, there is like 8 yards, but you're punting on the next play anyway. And then your point, Brew, or to your point, KW, sorry, the pick. Like, that, I understand it, we say no one was going to score any points in the snow, but the Patriots got a field goal in the snow going that direction. It seemed like no one was going to score in the snow going the other way. The Broncos in the 3rd quarter, Patriots in the 4th quarter. We're just not going to. The game wasn't over. And you felt better about Lutz's chance of kicking a game-tying field goal once you saw his previous field goal had been blocked.
Right.
You know what I like? It was like, oh, he didn't duck hook that or whatever. It got blocked. And so
he just threw that. I mean, I don't know if he did.
The Patriots
he wanted to throw it.
No,
From
he did.
the previous one, somebody was open.
Yes.
I felt like he's like, you know what? If we're going to lose,
it was a terrible pass.
I'm going to lose.
But there was KW. There's a lot of it's 2nd down. There's over 2 minutes left.
They're not moving the ball. I felt like he wanted to take a shot.
He did.
And there was a little bit of like, you know what? Am I going to tell my grandkids like, well, like we tried to get, I did a 2-yard scramble. You mentioned the blocked kick, and I pulled this video. Dust, you can run it whenever. Mike Vrabel in his post-game interviews, or like kind of
it still almost went
comments to the team. he's always like, this takes everybody. He takes the players, the coaches, the staff, and it almost feels like a platitude. It's like, it feels very, for like elementary school, like we're all together, we can all do it.
Right.
But Leonard Taylor III is up from the practice squad, was released by the Jets earlier this year, and he saves the season. If that went into overtime, who knows what happens?
Right.
So someone had to have their eyes on Leonard Taylor III, take him from the Jets. Someone had to tell him, in obviously his own, dedication. Hey, you're on the practice squad, but you never know. People say that, but to actually have it happen and make one of the key plays in the AFC Championship, again, speaks to Vrabel being excellent around the edges, and its coaches, its staff,
its scouting. And you saw what Will Lutz said about that kick, right?
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is that, he's right when you look at it on the replay. Usually the snap is 8 yards back. That was 7. And he said, we got it screwed up because of the snow.
Oh, really?
And the reason you go as far back as you do is it gives you more time to clear the line of scrimmage. Wow. No, it is these tiny margins where, and that, whether it is, special teams, which might have flipped both of the last 2 Rams-Seahawks games, these moments, and it is I don't want to sound like I'm doing a commercial for the league, but it is what makes, in my opinion, the NFL the best team sport there is, because it is, there is an element of the attention to detail, the every last guy that can flip entire, legacies, entire seasons, entire championships.
Loved it. All right, let's head to Seattle, where Sam Darnold, quite frankly, played the game of his life. Another offensive explosion in this third matchup between these two teams. 58 combined points. Both quarterbacks threw 3 touchdowns. Tail of the tape between the two quarterbacks. Stafford, 63%. Darnold completes 70%. Both guys go for almost 350. Stafford, 374. Just an excellent game. Passer rate. Look at the passer rate. I didn't realize that.
And it's the best in a playoff game since the 13 seconds game for combined between two. And Dust, you could just go to my next.
And Darnold's Mahomes here.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. You could just go to the 300 plus. So that's Stafford yesterday, third quarterback ever with 350, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and a playoff loss. And as far as 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers in the history of the NFL for both quarterbacks to do it, it's those 2 games. And listen, Brew, Darnold doing, and I wanted to show those because I don't think it's fair to frame it as if Stafford came up short. I don't think he did. I thought Stafford played great, and this is, I guess, the other side of quarterback wins, quarterback losses. I think Matt Stafford was exceptional in that game, and Darnold was better. And that to me is I can't believe I'm saying those words. I can't believe that that Sam Darnold outplayed Matt Stafford in the NFC Championship game, and it's not because Stafford just had a dog of a game. You know what I mean? Stafford had 3 picks. The Seahawks defense got to him, and Darnold outplayed him by just playing a clean game. No, it was like throw for throw, possession for possession. I'm going to outduel you. Yeah. I did not think that was on the board of possible outcomes. And it does make you wonder, Brew, how many quarterbacks that we have just said and that are long gone from the NFL were just busts, were just ruined by their drafting franchise and never got this type of shot at reinvention. Because Sam Darnold was as clear-cut to me as doesn't have it, was, Collins believed in him forever. Nobody else did. And you watch him last night, and it's like, this guy can do basically everything. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And so credit to him, man. It's a career reinvention.
I agree. I didn't think him outplaying Stafford or even playing equal to Stafford was on the board. Now, I picked Seattle, so I thought they would win. But I thought best case scenario, Darnold is solid, plays well.
Yes.
Maybe 2 touchdowns, 250 yards, something like that. And the defense of Seattle, maybe special teams, which did play a factor for the Rams, messes up, and Seattle wins. I felt confident they would win, but I did not think he could outplay Stafford. And some might say, well, it was really a draw, because I agree, Stafford was excellent. You can't fault him at all, except here's the difference. And this is where Darnold outplayed him on 3rd and 4th down. Darnold 6 for 9, 102 yards. Stafford 0 for 7. That's the first game in Stafford's career, which is what, 17 years, something like that, that he has not completed a pass on 3rd or 4th down.
I didn't.
Yeah, that was the difference.
Yep.
And so, to your point, Nick, about quarterbacks, and look, obviously Mahomes is great in his own right. It certainly helped going to Andy Reid. Obviously, Brady could have really been, like, never even got a chance.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even know about Tom Brady. I mean, there are so many great You're right, like, who your coach, your offensive coordinator, your franchise, and the Jets, I believe their fans, or at least a lot of them, are happy for Darnold. But you do have to be like, my goodness, we had a Super Bowl level quarterback, and we didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know what to do with him. Now, some quarterbacks develop at a different rate.
Yep.
And I do think it's important for franchises like, this year it's Mendoza. Whoever the best couple of quarterbacks are in the draft, they're going to get drafted fairly high. I think it's important not to force them in if they're not ready. If they're ready, fine. But if they are not, there's nothing wrong with sitting for a year or two. Now, 6 years, it shouldn't take that long. It didn't work out earlier in New York, and then he probably lost some confidence. He was backing up.
Remember, he showed flashes in Carolina.
That's what I was going to say. It seems.
Yeah, he took. I mean, Baker wasn't playing well, and then they put in Darnold.
It seems like every franchise that he's been with, except for the Jets, got more out of him or believed in him more. I don't want to say believed in him more, but
got a little more out of him.
Right, Carolina, there was a month at least where it's like, oh, that's the guy that Colin's always talking about. San Francisco, again, maybe it's just pablum, but Kyle Shanahan was adamant. We believe in this guy. And then Minnesota, when he gets the chance, listen, I'm not going to act like we haven't talked about pumpkin mode and all this stuff. He was bad at the end of that season in those 2 games. But he was excellent in the 16 games leading up to it, which is KW.
14 wins, 4,000 yards. Nothing to shake a stick at.
And then obviously this year with Seattle, which I know this is maybe the longest A block in the history of sports TV, so we probably should break. But, Brew, you and I can take solace in one thing today. If KW had truly had the courage of his convictions,
I agree.
He would have nailed both 60-1 long shot Super Bowl exacta. Because we begged you to be the Sam Darnold guy.
That's true.
And you were like, I don't know if I want to be the Sam. 14
up to the line.
Right, 14 wins, 4,000 yards. You'd walk up to it and then retreat backwards.
You were like
and then all year long, you were holding your nose defending Nick Sirianni and that Eagles offense while Sam Darnold was cooking. You could have had this. You could have had both sides of it. So that is a little solace for us today.
That being said, come Super Bowl, stage is going to be too big.
Pumpkin Moses.
That Patriots defense. Look at run the numbers. This Broncos loss on Sean Peyton. That's next.
Look at KW.
I'm out here doing
are
it.
astounding.
Oh, thank you. Head back to Denver where the Broncos have a chance to go up 10-0 in the second with a short field goal, but Sean Payton opts to go for it.
And throw a pass.
On 4th and 1, and the passing play falls apart. Denver never got into the red zone again. What about those 2 weeks?
I've got, So I have a lot of thoughts here. So I think 4th and goal from the 1, in almost every instance there is, except for like down 2 with 5 seconds left, is a must go for it. Like where to get the yard, getting the first down means you get the touchdown. That is so different than needing 1 yard, and if you get it, you still have 13 more yards to get. And because of that, And because of this graphic that showed you what the Patriots offense had done up to that point, 12 plays, 12 yards, and because you were at home with a backup quarterback, and because I would assume Sean Peyton, who is brilliant enough to devise his own quarterback algorithm for who to draft and is never shy and has been correct most of the time in calling his own shot about how cutting edge they are, he has access to the Doppler radar, and you had to know it was on the board that the weather was going to get bad. I think not kicking a field goal there, and this is a first guess, you can ask Danny Parkins about it when he's out here later, he's sitting next to me, was crazy. And it was, I want to reiterate the point I was making in the beginning about being 13 yards away even if you get it. I think a field goal wouldn't have been that much worse. Let me rephrase it. I'm not certain picking up 1 yard there and getting 1st and 10 from the 13 is definitively better than a field goal, because then it gives your young or your backup quarterback more opportunities for catastrophic red zone turnover, which we learned later in the game he was going to be flirting with. And the opportunity to go up 10 points and put even more pressure on New England, I think was valuable. And I certainly don't think if you're going to go for it, it can be a bootleg as opposed to finding a way to try to power for 1 yard. So in real time, I hated it. I'm not going to say this is why they lost, because we don't know how the game would have played out after that. And we don't know if the guy would have made it. Maybe they still would have got, I don't know. But I think it was a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a big mistake. And I think, Nick, we saw a field goal, a decision not to go for the field goal by Sean McVay in the second game has something to do with that. We'll talk about that as well. I think coaches have gone, like the pendulum has swung a little too far the other way. Initially, it was like just kind of the new, young analytics guys who were going for it on 4th down. It seemed crazy. The more mature guys were staying pat with tradition. And now it's almost like teams don't think 3 points is valuable. And I thought, Nick, at one point a few years ago, it was like, we're playing Patrick Mahomes. Threes aren't going to be enough. That's one thing. But now it's gotten to that point in almost every situation, no matter who the opposing quarterback is, 3 points is valuable, especially in playoff games. And I get it. He didn't know. Right. I'm sure he knew the weather was going to get worse. He probably didn't know how bad. But that's his job to know that. But you had ample evidence that we are shutting them down. We got arguably the best defense in the league. Let's trust it. And he didn't do that. And I think it was huge because once the snow really got bad, no offense was really moving the football.
I think he was scared of Drake May. That's the only thing I can come up with. Everybody knew it was going to be, weather was going to come in, and he was thinking, 10 points against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, not enough. If you truly have that great defense, if you've told that you've got this great home field advantage, the crowd is loud, you were telling people publicly and privately that you were going to win the game, you saw Drake May and Josh McDaniels' offense, you're like, 10's not enough. We need 14. Here's the other thing he said, and this is a shout out to the Patriots defense. Can you pull that Wickersham quote panel? Because he took a timeout and he like doubted himself. So Seth wrote a big article on just this play, and I'll just start it and Dusty can throw up the quote panel. I wish I'd stay with the initial play call, Peyton said shortly after leaving the stadium. The look they showed on film and the look we saw wasn't the look we got. So he got tricked too. So he didn't know the weather. I think he was scared of Drake May, and he got tricked.
Can I say something about the scared of Drake May piece?
Sure.
One of the big criticisms, and I think it's typically erroneous, that doesn't really understand how a lot of the modern analytics models work, is people just throw out there, well, it doesn't take into consideration game flow at all. And a lot of the modern analytics models absolutely do take into consideration who you're playing, what's happened already, all of that. It's built in. if going into the game, Sean Peyton, because I don't think this was an analytics decision. I think this was a Sean Peyton. I don't think he had someone in his ear saying go or not. I think Sean Peyton is making that call. If going into the game, Sean Peyton had determined, if we're inside the red zone and we have 4th and 1 or shorter, we're going for it, I think that's totally reasonable that that's the approach. Because other teams got a great quarterback. But at that moment in that game, the Patriots didn't have a great quarterback. And not adjusting to the reality on the ground that the Patriots offense had just completed as bad of a quarter of football as any team had played in the league all year.
But
12 plays for 12 yards.
That was going to stay?
I think he thought he was going to continue.
I mean, if it didn't,
that's what I mean, but he was scared. I'm saying he was scared.
And what I'm saying is that's a coaching failure to rely on your priors that way, to not be able to adjust on the fly to, man, I thought that we were going to have to get 7s instead of 3s every time. Turns out that we might not have to. And by the way, and I'm not trying to turn this into Drake May thing, like they got their 1 touchdown on a drive that started at the 11.
They didn't move the ball really the whole time.
There was 1 drive all game where the Patriots moved the ball, and they got 3 out of it. Like, if he really did decide in this game, I'm going to trust Jared Stidham and our offense over our defense, that's a huge error. That's a huge error. I always look at 2-score lead. Yep. That would have been a 2-score lead. That's huge to me. 2-possession lead. You know what I mean? Because even if you we don't want to settle for 3, you're up 2 possessions. They have to have 2 possessions to tie you. So I just think that's huge, and you need to take that into consideration. A field goal is way more valuable when you're up 7 than when you're up 3. Is what you're saying.
Yes,
if they had been up 3,
it's a whole
and the field goals put you up 6, that feels very different than a field goal when you're up 7 to put you up 10.
All right, let's head back to Seattle. Rams bid for a 3rd Super Bowl appearance for McVay, 2nd for Stafford, and 1st for Devontae Adams. Comes up short. I thought that was good emotional sound, but now I'm really bummed out. Yeah. What's the number one reason the Rams lost, bro?
Nick just said Devontae's played in more conference championships than any player
without making a Super Bowl. I believe so. Yeah, really? He's now 0 for 5, and Josh can check me on that. I believe that's the case. Yeah.
Look, in a game where both quarterbacks were excellent, okay, in a game or a series where the teams are so evenly matched that in 3 games, and one of them went to overtime, 3 points separated the teams. 3 points. Yep. So these teams are evenly matched. You play the game tomorrow, it might be a different outcome, right? I hate to kind of put it on the fumbled punt return.
Wasn't great.
That was the game. To me, that was the game. And look, I said Josh Allen had to wear the loss against, Denver. C.J. Stroud had to wear that loss against you guys. This was the game. This is when, because he just kind of stumbled. It's unfortunate, but he just, I don't know if he got intimidated because the defender was so close, but he stumbled. And Darnold, of course, throws a touchdown on the very next play.
And he had already muffed the punt.
Yes, he had already dove on and saved. But that's when Seattle took control. I get that they were leading 17-13, but that is when it was like, oh, they got control of the game.
Yep. Yes.
And from that point on, the Rams were playing catch-up. That was it. Now, it could have flipped the other way to where the Woolen, the defensive back for the Seahawks, who had the unsportsmanlike conduct, which was terrible. Maybe in a different circumstance, that could have cost it. But when teams are this close, when both quarterbacks are cooking and the defense cannot stop them. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, Seattle's defense. I've seen a lot of pundits say it was the defense or not Seattle, the Rams defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, look at these numbers. Because Seattle's vaunted defense wasn't getting it done either. The Rams had outplayed Seattle's offense in everything. Yeah. They had more first downs, everything, more yards per play. Rush ran the ball better, passed the ball better as far as yards per attempt. And so I get that their defense couldn't stop Sam Darnold in Seattle, but Seattle's defense couldn't stop the Rams. It came down to that one play, and that's when the Seahawks took control.
I think that is fair. That being said, and it feels like it's open season on the Rams special
Well,
teams.
it's been bad. And every loss just about, it's
you know
been
what?
Missed field goals, whatever.
If your defense falls off a cliff, then you open yourselves up to little mistakes by your special teams being catastrophic. Because before Thanksgiving, we were like, hold on, is this Rams team like good at everything besides special teams? And then after Thanksgiving, they went from first in points to 25th, 6th to 26 in yards, big plays, 4th to last. They fell off. And I know that's
They did.
I think when you allow Seattle to score 31 points, you are walking a tightrope. You need great games from everybody, rather than just, hey, we shut down Sam Darnold. And they've been flirting with this for a while.
Listen, that's fair. What's also, I think, fair and accurate is, to Brew's point, these teams played 3 times, and the 2 games Seattle won, there was catastrophic special teams error by the Rams in both. The first one was the missed kick coverage lanes on the Rashid Shaheed punt return that flipped that game, and then this one where you fumble it. And by the way, that has been the only thing that Sean McVay, some game management stuff, but his whole tenure with the Rams, they've been bad at special teams. So I don't know why. I just know that by Brew's favorite stat, EPA, like the Rams over the last, since McVay's been there, have been the worst special teams team in the league by a lot. And well, here's what's extra weird. Second worst has been the Packers, and it's those 2 by a lot, and that's McVay's guy. Like something about I don't know why maybe they don't focus on it. Maybe it's not. Maybe they spend all their time doing other stuff. I'm not sure. So I think that's fair. But I want to flip it a bit from a negative to a positive. Sure. Because despite all that, I thought the Rams were going to win, and I thought the Rams were going to win because after the Woolen taunting, they got a 1-play touchdown as well. You know, to Puka. And then they had a nice, long, methodical drive. It's like Stafford's going to punch it in, and Darnold's going to be down 3, and we'll see what happens. And the Los Angeles Rams, with, I believe, the MVP at quarterback, a future first-ballot Hall of Famer probably, and Devontae Adams as one receiver, and Puka Nacua as the other receiver, their 2 biggest passes of the year went to Terrence Ferguson and Kenneth Mumpfield. Because the Seahawks defense said, we're not going to let the other 2 guys beat us.
Exactly.
And I think that is really spectacular.
Yep.
That the Seahawks defense said, okay, we know what your number 1 option is. We know what your number 2 option is. We know your number 3 option is probably either your tight end or your running back. And somehow we're going to make it so you are throwing the biggest passes of your season. And I'm not taking shots at Terrence Ferguson and Kenneth Mumpfield, but it's those guys are deep on the receiver depth chart. Between them, they had 22 catches this season.
Mm-hmm. They know they could single cover them. You saw they doubled, like you said, the stars. And you also know Stafford's not a runner. That helps.
Yes.
Because you don't have to have as many people rushing. Right. You know he's not going to run.
The one 4th down he picked up was running the ball, and it was stunning that he did it. Listen, today is not...
I didn't say anything, dude.
KW,
but it is a good point that you make, that in the MVP conversation, one guy scored a touchdown and salted the game away, and the other guy went 0 for 9 on 3rd and 4th.
This is where the quarterback win stuff's going to kill me.
He did have
one quarterback won the game in Denver, and the other one was doing fantasy football inside.
Do you think Stafford could have won the game if his defense would have held the Seahawks to 7 points?
In the snow? I don't know. He can't run the ball, and he can't throw.
Had we seen him in the snow last year in the playoffs? Did they score more than 7?
It's a good question. I saw him lose.
Yeah, because
I saw him lose.
KW.
That's a great answer. I saw him drop the ball and lose to the
Eagles. He threw for 375, 3 touchdowns. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.